level has recently increased. Excellent.
Incoming message.
Welcome, agents, to episode 75 of Behind the Scanner. Your host for tonight is Andrew Krug from Arlington, Virginia. Our special guests tonight are Miss Staverbeest from the Netherlands and Simon Miller from the United States. Joining us for the Weekly Truth is Operation Essex. And for a look inside the scanner is Fev Games. I'm Kelly Colton. Welcome to the show. Join our host, Daphne D., during the broadcast in our live chat room on our website, behindthescanner.com, and click on Chat. The Q&A tool is enabled for tonight's broadcast. Submit your questions throughout the show, and we'll ask as many as time allows. If you know someone who would make a great guest, submit their information to us at behindthescanner.com and click on Guest Suggestions. You can watch past episodes and subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/behindthescanner or listen to audio-only episodes on soundcloud.com/behindthescanner. As always, you can find us on Google Plus and Facebook at plus.google.com/behindthescanner and facebook.com/behindthescanner. And now, your hosts of Behind the Scanner.
I just realized that we say behind the scanner a lot in that intro video, don't we? Behind the scanner, behind the scanner. Well, welcome, guys. It is episode 75. I think it's our Diamond Jubilee anniversary, and we have some special guests lined up for you. We've got Miss Staver with a V, Beast, from the Netherlands. Welcome tonight. Hello, hello. And we also have Simon Miller from somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, I believe Seattle, Washington, somewhere around that area. Can't really tell by the Seahawk stuff behind him, so I assume that's where he's from. Welcome, guys. Feel free to unmute yourself, jump right in. We're just going to hit the ground running and start with some questions. So,
hello.
Hello, welcome.
Good morning.
Yeah, exactly. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning to you, yeah.
3 a.m. maybe, your time? Is that it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, we appreciate you joining us. We're a global show. It's not convenient for everybody. So, with that, let's just jump right into it. So, a lot of the times we have guests that don't really have much in common, which is always fun because you learn about each other, we learn about you. Other times you have guests that have a lot in common, but you guys are kind of on the former side where you don't have much in common. Miss Staverbeest, you do kettlebell training? Is that correct? Is that where you see who can brew the most tea in kettles or something? What is kettlebell training?
No, kettlebell training is a cardio fitness with a weight similar to a cannonball with a handle to it, and it's about strength and about endurance.
Wow, that's not at all what I thought it was, but I think
no, it isn't.
They're those like iron solid steel things with the handle.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Like dumbbells, only probably.
About.
They're not 2 ends. It's one.
Dumbbells are about, well, normally size 15 kilograms. I'm talking about 30 to 40 kilograms.
Wow, good for you. It actually, in getting to know you guys, it actually sounds like Simon might be able to help you with that in your workouts, because I guess he's an industrial steel worker, so he could probably make some kettlebells for you.
Cool.
Simon, how
customized.
Did you just wake up one day and you're like, man, I'm always cold. I need to be around molten steel? How does that work?
Yeah, so I actually got that job because I've been working for a nonprofit for about 4 years, and oddly enough, it was Ingress. Constant driving was starting to drain my bank account, so I actively sought out a new job, and
to afford to play Ingress more.
That was part of the drive, to be honest. Yeah, and my dad helped me get the job there. He's worked there 30 years, so now it's father-son, molten metal, sand, fun stuff.
Nice. So what do you actually do? Are you working with the big furnaces and all that?
So I'm a core molder, so I work with chemically bonded sand. And shout out to my coworker, Wing Eye 666. I totally trolled him for the longest time. He couldn't figure out who was blowing up everything in the industrial park. No one ever suspected me. Yeah. So I do the core. So essentially, if you're trying to make a metal cup, I'd be making the negative. So anything that's intricate, undercuts, I make blocks of sand that make more intricate parts. It's the easiest way to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the wax mold for jewelry. You pour that in there.
Yeah, I actually did some of that too. They had me doing some wax injection molding for investment casting. So.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, a lot of experience in a short amount of time.
Yeah, so you could actually make her kettleballs. See?
I could, yeah. No, totally. I'm pretty good at molding. I could just make a mold, send it down the line, have some. Yeah. I don't know how the shipping would be. I don't know how shipping a kettlebell would be to.
Yeah. Well.
I'll just attend an Anomaly somewhere in America.
There you go. And then she'll put it in her luggage and have to pay the $100. Cheaper than shipping though. So
absolutely.
You guys, you do actually have something in common. You're both very creative people as well. Simon, you're a short filmmaker. Is that right?
Yeah. So that's something that when I got the job at the Foundry, a lot of my artistic and creative passions kind of fell to the wayside, so I could focus on my job. But last couple of years, I've really been trying to get back into that, and so I used to do a lot of work with like local youth film departments and all that stuff. North by Northwest. I'd like to do short film festivals, usually the 48-hour ones. But actually, right now we're in the middle of this year's annual film festival, except instead of 48 hours to do a film, they're giving us 30 days. So it's
wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's still a 5-minute film, except has a commercial in it, all this different criteria. So it's challenging. We're in the script writing process right now.
Is it live action stuff? Is it animated stuff? What do you do?
It's anything you want it to be, and I guess a month is a lot easier for animated, but 48 hours going from Friday night to Sunday night would be really difficult to animate something.
What's the kind of stuff you enjoy doing? What?
Realism humor, I guess. Like I had this one plot for the first one we did. It was a guy who quit smoking, and he used lollipops as a placeholder, but then he became violently addicted to like Dum Dum lollipops, and his wife left him. It's on the internet somewhere. I'll let you figure that one out. I was like 15. It was super, but.
Did he figure out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a lollipop?
We had a lot of really, really vulgar lines we had to cut, like chain sucking was one. You've been chain sucking, yeah.
Nice. All right, and Miss Staverbeest, we found that you are an embroiderer on paper, which really means like making cards and things. How on earth does that become like a hobby and something you get started with?
Well, I got a mom, like almost everybody, and she did it. So when I grew up, it was a normal thing for me to do. With my dad, I would do hammering and sewing and stuff. With my mom, I would do all those creative things like painting and making cards. And, well, because of work, you have to make choices, and I stopped doing the timber stuff, and I just kept the card thing.
Very cool. So what has been your most intricate, I guess, design? How much paper was left after you got done embroidering it?
I try to use as many, gift material, not buying everything, but using things you already have in your home. And I try to make everything as special. So if you get a birthday card from me, it will have your name on it. I will not buy anything or make something everybody else can make. I will always try to make my own design for you, especially for you.
Oh, that's very cool. So
that's awesome.
For the record, March 9th, that's my birthday. There you go.
I'll remember that.
Throwing that out there in case you find yourself.
I'll do.
All right, so let's talk about the game a little bit. I think, Ms. Staverbeest, you told us that you like to write sit reps. Is it the creative process of writing, or is it sharing the stories with people, or something else that you really enjoy about sit reps specifically?
I like the story to be shared, because if you do things like we did a cross-faction thing a few weeks ago, you do it with a reason. You make things with a reason. Either it's field art or it's a big field, but well, you want to brag a little bit about it, and sit reps are the best way to do that.
It's fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Mr. Simon, you've got a key collection, and it dawned on me when I read this idea from you that it's just, especially for people that travel, just brilliant. You've got a capital, what you call a capital key collection. So I guess first, are you happy with the introduction of key lockers, and how did you get started with this collection? Secondly,
So, yes, that's amazing. First off, what happened was I think it was my third Anomaly, and we were in Helena, Montana, and I held onto the key, just never got rid of it to the Capitol building. Then I went to Olympia, so I'm in Spokane, Washington, which is Eastern Washington, Western Washington, Olympia, Seattle, and I kept the key to that one. I'm like, wow, I wonder. I had never been on a plane until last year when I went to Salt Lake. So I started traveling more. I started hitting all these capitals. I'm like, I should try to collect every one of these keys before I'm 30, which is about 5 years from now. So my goal is to have the key to every state capitol building, including Washington, the United States Capitol, by the time I'm 30. So doing pretty good so far. I think I'm up to almost 20. So
wow, that's pretty awesome. So
in a year, yeah.
What state is on your bucket list that's like the number one next key you gotta get?
So I've almost cleared out most of the West Coast. When I went to Santa Cruz, I really screwed up hitting Sacramento because they had that decade storm. I don't know if you heard about that. Salt Lake, I actually didn't hit Salt Lake while I was there. I didn't go to the Capitol building. I think New Mexico is going to be one of the hardest because it's so far out of the way right now. There's no reason for me to go in that direction. But on my way down to Oakland, I plan on hitting almost all the ones I'm missing. So Boise too. I haven't been to Boise. So
cool, very cool. Yeah, I'm glad. I don't do capitals, but I do airports because I travel a lot. So I've
that's
got
awesome.
a key from all the airports that I go to. My special key locker now. So
yeah,
excited.
no, that is the nicest thing. Oh, I thought I was going to have just 50 spaces of dead weight until the end of Ingress. Yeah.
Yep. I think for me they're valued a little low. I would have paid $50 to have 500 keys.
Right?
Space for 500 keys. So cool. All right. Well, for everybody out there, remember that you can interact with us live. Let me show you how real quick. Bam. There we go. We got a chat room on a website. Can you believe it? So just go to behindthescanner.com, click on chat at the top, and then type in a nickname here. He who has this name, and then click start, and it'll put you right in there. When you're in there, our guests are there. We've got Daphne, our chat host, in there. You can ask questions to our guests. We will ask them on the air, hopefully soon. So don't miss out on that. BehindTheScanner.com and click on chat. All right, so back to the show. Let's talk about the social aspect of Ingress, because I think there perhaps might be one. Ms. Staverbeest, I know that you enjoy cross-faction art and social engagements. I'm going to set you up a little softball question here, but why is that? Why aren't you like the others that have disembodied Smurf heads glued to their cars and clothes?
I try to keep in mind that we are all just human and we are opponents, not the enemy. We had our share of people who made it personal, made it almost like into a war, and I didn't like that. So I always try to remember that everybody is just people, and well, if we can do a beer together, why not?
Yeah, that's kind of the purpose of the show, and that's why we have you guys on here, because there's people behind the scanner, and
yes,
yeah, there's going to be drama in the game, and there's going to be things that go on that you don't like, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we're all fallible. We make mistakes, It's weird for me to hold up Simon Miller to higher expectations than myself, for example. Why would I do that? So you got to let some things go and just deal with it. So Simon, I'm not picking on you. I'm not saying you've done anything in particular. I don't want to come off that way. But tell us about the bread faction, I guess, and the irony that it was founded by a person who has a gluten intolerance.
Yeah, that was discovered afterwards, but essentially, I've always liked bread jokes. Like, it's super corny, I know, which that's not really a grain, but you get it. We just kept making them. Finally, we had all these chat rooms, and we actually had one particular chat room set up to address drama with certain players in my local area. And I'm like, well, how can we have a hangout that is inconspicuous? So we called it Hot Cross Buns. And then more drama happened, and so we had cinnamon rolls until eventually it was on to a super high, like, national level. There's people from coast to coast in these chats. And so we were walking around. It was Pasadena. We had just lost Pasadena horrendously. And I'm like, next Anomaly, we'll wear tortilla capes and wear loaves of French breads on our hand. Yeah, huh. Instead of the red faction, will be the bread faction. And the joke went far too far. And now there's T-shirts, capes. Pretty much it's just a place where you're going to make bread puns. There's multiple chat rooms, different levels to it. It's an official Anomaly team now. Yeah.
Nice. Some people have the Green Dragon Anomaly team, and others have the Sweet Buns Anomaly team. Whatever works. It takes all types, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of anomalies, obviously this weekend there's an anomaly coming up with, I think, a primary in New Taipei City, Hamburg, and New Orleans. So let's talk about anomalies. Simon, how many anomalies have you been to, and is there kind of like a singular moment that stands out in your mind as to what anomalies are all about? You have define it.
I think as of Portland, that is my 11th or 12th. And really what it was for me, there's like this... It was the moment I went to the Tacoma finale for Helios. It was just fun. It was just a different kind of fun because that's the first time I'd been on an organized Anomaly team, because I'd been to 3 or 4 before, but I just showed up. And so all my friends were there. Like, it was close enough to our hometown that we could all go together. It was just a lot of camaraderie. So then someone asked me to go to Salt Lake, and one of my good friends helped me get there, and that's when I met a lot of the people that I would call my lifelong friends now, and I was hooked. So after that, it was one after another after another. In fact, New Orleans is the first time I will miss an Anomaly since New Orleans.
Wow. So
yeah, I'm addicted now.
That's a lot. In fact, one more and you can say you've got a baker's dozen. Anyway.
Oh, I love it.
So,
love it.
Miss Staverbeest, what about you? Do you have any sort of favorite Anomaly moments?
Well, I haven't been to as much as Simon did. I just did 3, Hanover in March, Utrecht in June, and now I'm leaving in about 4.5 hours for Hamburg. So for me, yeah, it is. And well, Utrecht was special because I was at my first measurement, and behind us there was another Enlightened team, and when the measurement was over, one of the guys turned around, and it was my guide at Hanover, and we saw each other, and we were looking at each other, and we said, "It's you!" It was really funny. We didn't know. We both didn't know. We were just, there are 5,000 people, and we meet each other at the first measurement. It was very special for me.
That's really neat. So is there, let me ask this question to both of you, is there a city you would love to go to for an Anomaly? So we'll stick with Miss Staverbeest. What about you? Is there one city in particular that, yeah, well, that would be a good one.
Paris. I missed Mission Day, unfortunately, but Paris, I'll just love it.
Yeah, that'd be good. Simon, what about you?
I think if I could go back to one I've been to for another Anomaly, I think it'd be Vegas. But if I had to pick a new one, I think I would go to. I've always wanted to visit Berlin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another good one. I like that.
If there is an Anomaly, Simon, in Berlin, and we both will attend one day, we'll do a beer.
I'd like that. My treat.
Thank you.
Wait, can you drink beer?
I can have as much cider as I want.
There you go. Nice. There are some really good ciders in Germany, I have to say. I sampled a few when I was over in Frankfurt, so yeah, good times. All right, well, why don't you guys take a break for a second, refill your cider drinks if that's what you're having, or your waters, or the Staverbeest, get another coffee if that's what you're having. We are going to do, let's see, we've got the Weekly Truth coming up next with our guest host, William, who, you lost your lower third, but that's okay. So, yeah, I know, that's okay. He is here. He's going to catch us up on the goings-on with the storyline, the characters, and everything like that. There's been quite a lot, actually. So with that, everybody please welcome Operation Essex investigator and former guest, William, back to the show to let us know what's going on. How's it going, sir?
Pro lower third load in there.
There you go. I like it. All right. So what's going on?
Me being jealous of people going to Germany. So a few things are going on because we have anomalies this weekend. All of us at Essex really want to make sure that agents that are finding clue-based media get them to an Essex agent. That's kind of necessary for storyline progression for us because some of those things they're not necessarily faction specific, they're story specific, and we can't be everywhere. So if you find these, let somebody know. Andrew's an Essex member. You can contact me. Jose, who's normally on any of us, that if you know Essex members, that's one of the things. So the Origins comic book, written by the exclusive XM comic book artist Tycho, that's live now too. And I believe Andrew had some giveaways on that, right?
Yeah, we did. We had 2 last week, and we'll probably have another 2 or so in the coming weeks. And I got to admit, for the 2 folks that won last week, it was a really, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. They are sitting in my truck ready to be mailed out, and that's the post office. I promise you, before the week's over, I will send those out. So, again, I'm sorry.
So the book seems to elaborate on the mysteries led by the former Niantic projects. Already Clue and Richard Loeb have begun to post up discoveries related to the books. So check out your local comic book store for copies, or keep tuned to Behind the Scanner for potential giveaways. The Bad Anomalies coming up Saturday, New Taipei City, Hamburg, and New Orleans. They'll affect the alignment of certain sensitives. Aligning a sensitive to a faction will give that faction a certain amount of points. The shards of Martin Schubert will emerge in New Orleans, while Oliver Linton Wolf will be in New Taipei City, and Dr. Victor, I'm going to say Cruz because I can't pronounce it properly, will be in Hamburg. That's a tough one. It's Kureze. No, we're not doing that.
Cruz. It's all right.
Cruz. Hank Johnson and Susanna Moyer are going to be in New Orleans. So a possibility of special media exists, or whatever else decides to show up that might be related to, or perhaps from Oliver Linton Wolf will be on the ground in New Taipei as well. So if agents do recover these media, like I said, get it over to us for analysis. That way we can figure out what's going on with it. And Clue will be in Hamburg. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Dr. Edgar Allan Wright has also been posting on his G+ page theorizing the status of a mysterious individual who may be some sort of crime artifact hunter. I have not caught on this yet. I need to go and read on it myself. So there's a little bit going on, kind of crazy with the anomaly stuff going up, and the artifacts as well.
So I gotta say, I've got my comic book. I've got several of them, and I read it, and I'm gonna put you on the spot. I don't expect you to know the answer. Maybe there isn't an answer, but I'm always curious by the guys who sort of, I don't know. I don't want to say come and go, but there's not much we know about him. Like Ben Jackman, the guy who found the phone that had the Ingress Store, leaks to the world. So
he's been coming up in our discussions lately for some of the footage that he posted. I don't know if any of us know anything that's happened to Ben Jackman.
But Cruz, he's an interesting guy because he's got ties to Calvin and some of the prior Niantic project-like experiments, WIDA and all of that. And from the comic book, and there was a video at some point that we think it might be Cruise, he was forced against his will, right, to join.
That was the Ben Jackman video. They speculated that in the Ben Jackman video that the professor in the video that was teaching about portals and resonance and whatnot was Cruise.
Yeah, so here's this guy that has ties, is forced into the Niantic project, dies mysteriously in like level 9, I think it was, or something like that, of the Niantic project in the CERN facility. And then when Jarvis dies, he writes a glyph on Jarvis's forehead, correct? And
I don't remember that.
yeah, and I don't think we know what that glyph means or what it is yet. We've never solved that, so I was kind of expecting maybe that to be answered in the comic, but it wasn't. So I guess we have to stay tuned for all those sort of things.
The part that I'm trying to keep track of is I don't remember if it was in last week's Ingress report or the week prior, or maybe it was a document that was released with Susanna speaking with her father about their past and her family and his work in the original projects a long time ago, which was kind of neat because it's really mysterious and he doesn't really give answers out a lot. He's really, really short with her, and it sounds like she's quite upset because she's trying to find out what's going on and he's not telling her. And it almost sounds like they used synthetic XM to revive some people from this project, and that was something I didn't expect to find out about. So I'm eager to learn more about that, and when more information comes. So I mean, media that's coming out might be tied to that, or something that one of the other people know. So hopefully Hank or somebody that knows more about this is going to clue us in if they've caught these documents.
Oh, so actually, you brought up something earlier about the clues media, or that. What do they look like? What should people be looking out for? Are they like stamped in red on the top? Hey, this is special. Like what's?
Sometimes the media that you're going to pick up will be a link to an image. I've seen those. Sometimes they're actual video links to a YouTube video where somebody's posted it and hidden it, and then it's been hidden inside the Portal network. So the media that way, if you can get the link to somebody, that would be the best way to do it. We don't actually physically have to have that piece of media transferred to us. We just need the actual target that the media is studying us to.
Basically, it's not a media that's got the Ingress report image on it. It's
it's the only thing that's going to be faction specific or something that if you're worried about it being for your faction or something you shouldn't share might be obtained by GoRuck. So that would be something that might have clues in it for us later on after the anomaly, but during the anomaly and things like that, hold on to it and then get it over to somebody who can decode it, because it's not me. I don't do that. I'm the conspiracy theory guy, so it's a little bit out of my realm.
All right. Well, thank you, sir, as always, for coming on and letting us know what's happening in the storyline and all the folks.
Hey, I'm filling in.
All right. Well, that was Sheep with Operation Essex, and now it is time for the code of the show. And I know it's iShard Ingress's favorite time because he gets all these level 3 XMPs. Bam! Oh, look at that, like magic. What do we got? We got 2 of them. These are a little squishy today, it looks like. These are limited redeem codes, so get them while they're hot. There we go. Now we're in HD. All right. Might be good for 5. That might be good for 500 reshares. That might be good for 5,000 reshares. We have no idea. Go ahead and share it and see what happens, and tell us what they are. I don't know. I don't have a clue. All right. Be up there for a couple seconds. 1 and 2. All right. Let's go back here. Oh, and it's gone. Hopefully you guys got that. if you want more codes, come into our chat room. Daphne is passing out codes like crazy. So, we would normally do an Inside the Scanner segment. Unfortunately, though, at the last moment, the person that was going to come on had a family emergency, so we hope everything's all right with you, Dustin, and we will delay that till next week. I guess I'm not even prepared. We could go fevgames.net, see what's going on. There we go, fevgames.net. Oh yeah, the Ingress Store is live. So if you want to buy official Ingress swag, they've got patches and t-shirts and bio card sets and more t-shirts and the messenger bag and stickers and all that sort of good stuff. Just go to shop.ingress.com. I think it's open to everybody right now. If it's not, you need the password, and you might find it right here. Password, Adventures on Foot. Just saying. Well, let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, Abaddon. Is fracking good or bad? Weigh in on that. There's definitely different opinions about it. I personally don't think that it's bad, but I might be in the minority. So check out fevgames.net for all your Ingress information, especially when it comes to scanner changes, game mechanics, new items, all that sort of good stuff for Saturday listings and scores. And with that, let's get back to our two guests, especially since we're now pushing 3:30 in the morning for Miss Staverbeest. Thanks for staying awake during that segment. I appreciate it. Hopefully your coffee was delicious. Let's get back to talking about yourselves for a little bit. So, how do you describe yourselves as players? Because I'm interested in this. Simon, you've actually said that you're a lazy player. So why is that? Why do you describe yourself as that?
Maybe binger would have been the better word. And it's been a while since I've been on a binge. When I did my 16 run, that was like kind of my last hurrah of like extreme epic ingressing, as it was. I literally had people always ask me, "Oh, how'd you hit 16 so fast?" Because I had like a 12 million gap and I did it in 2 weeks, and I had a gallon of water, a jug of meal replacement, and $400 for gas, and I just went nonstop. Didn't sleep, nothing. And after that, I'm like, wow, I'm done for a while. So I've slowly been grinding metals and stuff, but essentially I'm a mufug farmer now.
All right, so elaborate. I think I know what that is, but elaborate for everybody else who might call it something else. What is it?
So I have a lot of MUFG capsules, and I just keep them all stocked at 95, and every day when my clock goes off, I take them back down to 95, fill up the next ones, and just continually farm from a mufug. I've gotten so lazy at farming.
You still capped at 2,000 items, though, right? So.
No, you'd think so, but yeah, can't hit it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. All right, so Ms. Staverbeest, how would you describe yourself as an Ingress player?
Lazy at times and intense at other times, I think.
Okay.
Now, normally spoken, I play roughly 2 days during the week and one of days in the weekend. And the other ones I will farm the home portal. Who need muff G's when you have a home portal, And, well, I like playing, but I definitely do not like mission banners, so I'm not really into that. So when I go out, I've got the center of the city here with 3,500 portals. I don't have to go far. If I would, I could, like the Simon, do 12 million maybe in 2 weeks if I took 2 weeks off. I will not. I'm 30 million shy, but I will not do the same thing as he does. I'll get it to there, well, somewhere around March, I think. And it's good. I play, well, someday I will play and someday I will go lazy on my couch.
It's just, it's comfortable. It's not being lazy. It's just comfortable. Playing in your pajamas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you both love the social aspect too, so I know that you're going to get out there and do that as well. spread the bread love, as it were.
Yes.
So. All right. Let's see. What else can we talk about? How about? Oh, you know what? We mentioned in the Fev Games segment. I'm having trouble talking tonight about the new power-up items that were just released. So, what do you guys think about that? The Staverbeest. What are your thoughts on the frackers and the beacons?
Well, the beacons, funny, but well, not very useful. The frackers we've used now for a couple of times, and well, while they're handy if you have just 1 or 2 portals in range, well, we've got 300 portals. I'm not really seeing the point of it, but I can imagine if you live somewhere outside the country, the city, it would be very handy to have it. And well, with a couple of people, hack it, because 10 minutes looks a long time, but it isn't. When you're alone, 10 minutes will be gone before you know it, and you didn't use all of your fracker.
Yeah, that's true. I'm actually trying to do the math on something right now. So 20 seconds, 5. Yeah, something like that. We there was a bunch of us at a farm recently, and afterwards after we all hit item cap, we went to a local restaurant that happened to have a portal outside of it and put the fracker on it. And we all, before we did that, obviously cleared out some space, like 100 items or something like that, and we put some very rare multi hacks and heat sinks on it as well. And then we threw a fracker on it, just for giggles, and it was great for 10 minutes, but the cooldown was something like 20 or 30 seconds. So you got maybe, if you were really paying attention, 3 hacks over 10 minutes. So you got 30 extra hacks and doubled it. I mean, it was nice. We got some cool screenshots of getting 16 bursters in a single hack. But you're right, that 10 minutes, unless you're really paying attention, doesn't last that long. And especially, we just came from our farm, so we were all at cap anyway. We just want to see how it worked. But I can see you make a very valid point. If you're at a place where maybe you don't have a farm handy, or maybe you just can't get out for whatever reason, throwing that on there would definitely help out. So yeah, I don't think it's a game changer. It's not a pay-to-win thing. But.
No, if you are with a whole lot of people and a few portals, then it's a win-win situation, because you will use those 150 hacks. But when you're with just 3 people, it's useless.
Yeah. I tend to agree. It's fun. It was cool seeing everything. Like I said, really cool seeing 16 XMPs, because we were also trying to glyph hack and get it.
2 times, 16 splitting.
Oh really? Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough at glyphing for that to happen. But Simon,
no translated badge then.
No. I, like you, we've got a lot of portals, so I can either stop and glyph, or I can keep moving and hack, and it's kind of 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. So if everybody else is going to stop and glyph, I'll stop and glyph. But if everybody else is just going to move, I mean, I'm there also for the social aspects. I'll move with them. I'm not going to stop.
That's where my home portal comes in handy.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. Simon, what are your thoughts? So, what sort of items do you think? Let me ask you this question: what items do you think could be sold without upsetting the balance of the game that maybe don't exist right now?
So, something I said right off the bat was you could do cosmetic changes. The only issue is, from what we know so far and the way the game has been for the last almost 3 years, is the game is extremely indirect when it comes to in-game interactions with players. So what benefit would that have? Like, a lot of people say, oh, I paid $10 to have that Pac-Man skin. Well, would everybody be able to see your Pac-Man skin? Something that League of Legends does is they do name changes. If you look at the current name change process, there's benefit, but obviously, if I paid $10 for a name change in the store, the next time I wanted to do it was $20, and it just kept going up incrementally, they'd be making a lot of money off trolls.
That's actually very interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, so name changes. Your player avatar, your glyph logo up in the corner, you could have a custom one for that, maybe buy different pieces.
Interesting. Yeah, we've talked about that before. That's a good idea too. So yeah, I mean, personalizing the experience for people, I think that's pretty cool. I would love. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So sound packs have like a raspberry sound effect when you fire off a burster. Yeah. I don't know.
Nice.
There's a lot of ways you could go. There's a lot of really stupid things I would pay this game to do.
You know what? April 1st, I would pay $10 to play as Pac-Man. I think that's the perfect April 1st. You know, go into the store and, hey, what's this? And you buy it. So,
Yeah.
silly things, right? I mean, it's all about bringing us joy and enjoying the game in different ways. So, just because you can't see me as Pac-Man doesn't mean I'm not. All right, let's.
Hey Andrew.
Yeah.
I would love to pay. I would love to pay for the possibility to give my capsules a name.
Yeah, you know, there's obviously a name there. It seems to be a random string. Yeah, that would be cool. And also, I think along those lines, it was talked about. Oh, I don't even know how many years ago now on the Cowgirl app or Up show about transferring items via like an NFC tag or something. So you obviously there would have to be some extreme limitations on it. Maybe you could only put like 50 items into a tag, and you can only do that once every 30 days, right? So that one account, you know, and then maybe have some limits on I don't know. We'd have to think about it, but essentially, then you could do a real dead drop. So, I mean, if everybody wants to blow their 30-day, 50-item dead drop to a person, cool. If you know that there's going to be shards or something like that happening, and you've got people in like I don't know, Puerto Rico, or well, it's not really an isolated place, but you know, some more isolated places that aren't going to be able to get out and hack things, you could literally send them a dead drop. And if 100 people want to send them 50 tags, great. They only have a 2,000 item limit, and you're not going to be able to do anything else for another 30 days. But physical drops like that were talked about a long time ago. It would be interesting to see if that actually gets implemented too. So I'm with you, though. Just renaming the capsules so I know what's in what. I love having the multicolored key lockers so I can identify what's supposed to be in what locker. The capsules themselves, you can open them up, look and see. Oh yeah. So all good things. Niantic, if you're watching, renaming capsules. There you go. Let's see. Oh, you know what? We're going to be getting to the question and answer section real soon. So let me tell people how to do it. Again, you can go to behindthescanner.com, click on chat, ask questions in there. You can also use the app. So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, just click on be part of the conversation, and that'll take you to a screen. And then the upper right, click on a little square grid menu icon, and then just click on QA. It's as simple as that. 3 clicks will get you in, I think, just about either of those places, and you can start asking questions. If you're in the chat room, definitely our chat host is going to be giving away codes to people that ask questions. So join us. It's a good time. We won't bite, I promise, unless you ask. Yeah, I see you're getting excited about that, Simon. Yeah. All right. So let me ask you guys another question of, if you were king for the day, what would you like to see in Ingress that doesn't exist? So Simon, how about you first? If you're king for the day, what would you like to see in Ingress that doesn't exist yet?
Ooh, well, I always had this idea for for a very rare turret, and essentially the way they added value to heat sinks, where heat sinks immediately cool down the portal, it would be double weapon output. But Frackers kind of did that in a really generic way, so if I could be king for a day, I guess. Would it be cliche if I said once you hit level 9 to 16, there's actually things to do? Like maybe, I understand keeping a level playing field for the range, but I'd just like to see a diversity in mods. Because mods are really the best way to expand the game, in my opinion. Mods and power-ups now. I'd like to see some more interesting mods. There's a lot of different directions you could go.
What kind of mods specifically? Do you have any ideas?
So I have a lot of time to think when I'm out playing this game. So I've talked to my friends about what if there was like a dud, like you come up to an opposing faction portal and you just throw a paperweight on it, uses up a mod slot.
Interesting. Yeah.
There's a lot of strategy to that, because right now we blop or toadstool, whatever you call it, where you flip the portal with link amps. Imagine if there was something that had an even more negative impact, like if that was a strategy. That'd be kind of cool. The biggest one. a flat-out neutralizer. Not an Ada, not a Jarvis, dead.
Interesting. So you can flip it gray.
Yeah, just immediately neutralize it.
Hmm.
That could be, you could call it, could be a Devra card, I'm not sure. I mean, if you think about it.
I like that idea, though. You'd have to figure out how, yeah, because you wouldn't want it to be abused for, win trading or people cheating or anything like that. So yeah, maybe
It would still have to fall within the hour window, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what are your thoughts on that, Miss Staverbeest?
Well, apart from obviously renaming the capsules, I would like to upgrade mods. I know there has been talk about it before, but it still doesn't happen. I would love that, because if somebody throws on a normal portal shield and I would like to use it as an anchor for my big field, I would, well, be pretty glad if I could upgrade it to an AXA, something like that.
Would you? This might get into the realm of trolling. Would you ever see the need to downgrade a mod? Would you ever go from an AXA to a common? I guess. Can't think of a very rare link camp to a rare link camp. I can't think of a reason.
No, I think you should only could be possible to upgrade.
Okay.
No downgrade, and even no shields putting over a link camp or stuff. Just upgrades the sort there is.
Right. The item type. So common could be upgraded. Common shield could be upgraded to a very rare or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that idea. And also, I wish there was.
And then a link.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then a link camp to a SoftBank Ultra Link or to a very rare link camp.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense, actually. Huh. Yeah. Back in the day, you could actually remove mods, but being able to upgrade them in place.
That's before my time, I'm afraid.
Back in the day, we used to have XMPs that went out for 2 miles. It was fun.
I remember that. Back in the day when there weren't power cubes, I don't remember that either.
Power cubes, we had to run around the block to get XM. It was crazy. People going all over the place like cats. Madness. I do remember that. I remember the first time I hit level 8, and I was so excited because I had a level 8 XMP from a code I think I got, because there was no level 8 portals really in the country or the world. And I remember being so amazed. It just went out for like blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. You set a red light, and you could just decimate like 4 or 5 blocks with the stuff. And then you had to run around the block to get more XM. So, because you got zapped. Crafting, I think, is another one people kind of bring up a lot. So if I had a whole bunch of level 7 resonators, being able to somehow make level 8s out of them. So if it was like, I don't know, 10 to 1 or something like that, or 25 to 1, I could figure it out later, but being able to take those resonators and then upgrade those resonators to another one. So take
double down, yeah.
10 level 7s to make like a single level 8 or something along those lines. I think that'd
be a great medal.
Yeah, and then so you get the crafter medal, I guess, and you could only do it for if you're a level 6, you can't craft level 8 stuff, right? You have to actually be level 8. So I think that would be another interesting one, especially for people who may not have the ability to make level 8 portals near them or get guys out like that. You
I guess
you could use the crafter, hack a bunch of level 7 stuff, and make level 8. I don't know. Ideas.
It'd be an interesting dynamic for communities where it's harder to build 8s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing we get paid to do all this thinking for them. Right? So, what excellent ideas. So, all right. You guys ready to dive into the viewer question segment?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Let's see. I don't even have an idea of where to begin or start. How about this question is from the Dracarium. It's for Squishy. What happened to all of your squishiness? Can you fix squishy? Yes. What happened to all your squishiness? I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
I've been training for GoRuck, and I'm down about 40 pounds. So.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's and also once I stopped eating bread, I realized that was like wreaking havoc on my body as a whole. So.
Wow, good for you. You know what? I do think I remember seeing pictures of you. You posted them on G Plus, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of crap for that.
Really? How did you get crap for that?
May not have had my shirt off in those pictures. May not have had my shirt on.
Yeah, but you're showing progress and you're showing it. So.
People will be people.
Yeah. Screw the haters. Screw the haters. Congrats. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
All right.
Good question. Thank you.
This is from Juhu. J-U-H-U. I apologize for butchering your name. This is for all the guests. So, this gets to cross-faction relationships. You don't have to name the people specifically, but let me ask Ms. Staverbeest first. Do you have problems with people from the opposite team? And I'm going to follow that on with how do you deal with cross-faction issues where you're at?
Well, there has been some incidents in the past, of course, and well, when things changed in the game, when we changed from being just only opponents to also go dialogue, we found out that there always will be people on both sides who are, well, just ruining the game for everybody. And so we decided, cross-faction here at least, that we will ignore those people. They exist. They ruin my home portal. They ruin some resistance player's home portal. They campfire it or pineapple it or whatever. We tend to ignore it nowadays because you can't please everybody and you can't be friends with everybody. But as long as it's clear for everybody that there's normal behavior, and then there is, well, those people who ruin it for everybody. You go along. We talk about it just like Simon told. We have some cross-faction hangouts, and if there is an incident or there's some spoofing or cheating or really hitting on someone, we will talk about it. And the faction whose player is on, they will talk to the player. And if the player will say, well, I'm going to do it anyway, then we will all ignore him and he will be shut out. It's working quite fine.
Yeah, just basically the lesson is don't feed the trolls, don't give them any attention.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so Simon, let me ask you the second part of this question, and that is Ingress more than a game?
Yeah. So going back to that part about trolling and just being, I guess, like a jerk to people. When I started playing Ingress, it was the beginning of December 2012, so really early on. So I think at the time I was just not even 22 yet, super young, and I was a jerk, super big jerk. Like it was like, oh, Xbox Live, Halo, let's go, screw you, I blew up your thing, and it got really militaristic, and it got to the point where there's like a bubble. Me and this other guy had made a bubble around us where we completely dominated the entire game, but we made sure everybody knew about it. And I think one of the most important things that Ingress has taught me is how to grow up. Like I feel like I've grown up and learned so much because of this game, just mending fences with people, learning how to lead a community, learning how to be a better person. It's made me a better person. It's way more than a game to me. Like 95% of the friends I have right now are from this game.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Yeah, Ingress can teach you a lot. It's about conflict,
mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing amounts. It blows all the barriers that might be in regular society away. So yeah, it's cool. That's very cool. Let me ask you that same question, Ms. Staverbeest, because it was technically to both of you. What's your view? Is Ingress more than a game? How has it changed you?
When I started this game, it was, well, I thought it was going to be for a few weeks. So that's 1.5 years ago now. And I've been more socialized. I have friends when I was 20, I'm a little bit older than Simon, Those friends don't play Ingress, and I won't ask them to. I have a life besides Ingress, but like Simon says, when Ingress came and I joined the communities and stuff, my life changed and my friends grew bigger. There are more people who I would never ever have met if it wasn't for Ingress. I would never have gone to Hanover or Hamburg or whatever to play a game. If somebody would have said that to me January 2013, I would have thought you're crazy.
Never got on a plane to go play Candy Crush, huh?
No, never.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I was in Alaska.
That's the strange thing. That's the strange thing about this game. I would have never guessed to hire a car, take free from my work, and jump in that car in about 4.5 hours to drive to Hamburg and go play a freaking game on a Saturday when they're expecting rain. You know, when it's raining, you have to be inside on your couch watching TV. And now I'm going to walk about 30 kilometers or something, soaking wet, and I did it. I'm going to do it. I don't know why, but I'm going to.
It's a game that will single-handedly make you more suspicious of everybody around you, but also more trusting as well, right?
Yes.
You're going to take rides from people you've never met before. You're going to invite people into your car that you've never met before, and yet you're going to look around you for the people that you think are the opposite faction and try to get a leg up on you.
Everybody who looks at his telephone is suspicious and probably an opponent. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, so let's move on here. We have a lot of questions, so they keep coming in. Here's a good one. So from Mustafa said, he wants to know, out of everything that you guys have experienced, what has been or what is your favorite Ingress memory? So how about the Staverbeest? Why don't you go first? What's your favorite Ingress memory?
At this moment, I would say the semicolon for last month, cross-faction project about Will Prevention Suicide Day. It was really the cross-faction thing on its own. It was cross-faction, field art, semicolon, stuff. But afterwards, when we were all taking a beer, we were talking about our own personal reasons why we were there. And that was intense. That was special, at least for me.
Wow, I can't even imagine. Yeah. So Ingress helping you heal too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Simon?
That's an interesting question. I guess one of my favorite, it's kind of a two-parter. So when I went to Salt Lake, I wound up accidentally staying with, I don't know if you've heard of Worst, probably, like it. Yeah, I wound up staying in a house with most of the current members and most of the people that between that time and when I joined would become members. So that was kind of the big bonding moment for me with that community. It was interesting because it was just automatically all these strangers in a house on a Friday night, didn't know each other. I was like the out of place kid, and then that led up to Vegas where they initiated me into Worst, and it's a family. And that was one of the coolest on the road moments out of my local community. I think my local community is one of my favorite aspects just because it's home. But joining Worst was one of the coolest because it was a second family, an immediate second family.
That's awesome. The community aspect is definitely strong in this game. You can't, there's many different ways to play Ingress, but I think people that don't take advantage of the social aspect of it, they're missing out on some potential really special ties to people. So here's another question for you, Squishy, kind of along those same lines. What's that? So what's that KRB thing about?
So that is the Bread Faction is different chapters. So Bread Faction is a global umbrella. KRB is actually the Knights of the Round Bagel. I believe Seattle has a chapter, and Salt Lake has a chapter. And I think Sydney, Australia might even have a chapter. So that's Sir Andrew Rissenhoover. That's his chapter. He made that up, and that's actually where we're recording today, is in the Drakarium Studios.
Nice. That's awesome.
Super cool. Yeah, he wore that to Portland, dressed up in full knight garb with the KRB shield.
Yeah. I saw the picture of that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That.
All right, so this next question is for Ms. Staverbeest. This is from MTEAK. I think we know the answer to it because maybe you just mentioned it, but in terms of field art, how about this? The question originally is, what is your favorite field art that you've participated in or seen? But what are your top 3 field arts that you either participated in or seen?
To have seen the flag of England, I say about a year ago, half a year ago, that all of England and all of Scotland were covered in one big, massive flag. It was amazing how many people you need to not only make that cross-faction field art, but also that all of those people will work together. And there always will be some people who are not working with you but against you, and you have to deal with your own faction who's throwing crosslinks because they don't like the concept of field art, as well as the massive amount of time and energy you have to put into to make that big field art as it is. I was amazed. It was really amazing. And for me personally, well, the San Colin, like I told you, are my very, very, very first field art, a Valentine flower.
Oh, nice. Was that in the Netherlands?
Yeah, it was in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in my city. Well, my city is normally blue, unfortunately. And when the cross-faction happened, we were just having a few weeks of trashing the city every single day, trying to make it a little less blue and a little more green. And then we just stopped for the weekend. At Friday night we came together, we made that cross-faction art in the center of the city, and we were finished at midnight, and it stayed almost completely whole until midnight Saturday to Sunday, and then it was wrecked, but it stayed all Valentine Day, it stayed our flower. I was very pleased with that.
That's very cool. Yeah. I think I actually recall seeing that. Was that like a year? Well, not last February, but the year before that, right?
No, it was last February.
Okay. I'll have to
Yeah,
look at
it was.
That's very, very cool. Yeah, the flag was amazing. I can't even imagine how many people that took to make, with all the different stripes and everything. That was crazy. Kudos to those agents.
Absolutely.
All right, so we are almost out of time. I'm going to end it with these last 2 questions for Squishy. So take no offense, Ms. Staverbeest.
No problem.
You can probably tell the direction they're going to go. So this one is from somebody known as Mexican Squishy. What's up with the guy poster behind you, brah? He's not at his house.
Yeah, I believe that's an autographed picture of Arrow. Who plays Arrow, Andrew?
It's an autographed picture. That's all right.
Yeah, the actor who plays Arrow. Yeah, and I believe I'll get back to Mexican Squishy in a minute.
All right, so we have Shade from Trees always asks this question, so we always ask it on behalf of them. Shade from Trees would like to know, Squishy, will you take your shirt off?
I think at this time I'm gonna have to pass. I'm sorry.
There you go. All right. I think that's it. So I guess that means it's time for our BTS tradition, for better or for worse. We give you guys at the end of every interview 60 seconds to talk about whatever you want. You can give a shout out to people. You can talk about what you're passionate about. Get up on a soapbox. Exclaim how magnificent my beard looks. It's up to you guys. Ms. Staverbeest, why don't you go first? Ladies first. floor is yours.
I would like to address to all the agents that keep it friendly. No stickers on people's cars, no stickers on people's front doors or people's windows. It's just a game. Try to remember that your opponent is not the enemy. Your opponent is human, just like you and me. That being said, try a little bit field art. You might like the people on the other side of the game, and remember that there has to be two sides of the game to, well, play a fun game. Because if there's no resistance, in my case literally, there's no game.
Very well said. I think you have another 10 seconds if you want to use it.
No, I'm finished.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right, Mr. Miller. What does Simon say?
All right. Shout outs. I don't know if I can say this, but the Downey Douchebags, I'd like to give a shout out to them. Knights of the Round Bagel, Bread Faction, Utah Resistance. Oh, I know I'm going to forget somebody and they're going to be mad. First off, real quick while I have time, for Mexican Squishy, can we do the...
Oh, you know what? For you, I'll do
all right.
anything once.
This is going out to Mig. All right.
There you go. Yeah. All right. We got it. Yeah. We did it. All right. Excellent. Awkward.
Let's see. Super glad I got to be on here today. It was super, super awesome. It was an honor. I don't want the roller coaster ride to end. I guess that's all I can say. Like, it's been life-changing. It's been super positive, and I think anybody should be able to take that away from this. If you get a negative experience out of Ingress, you probably did it wrong.
Fair enough. Well said. Well said, both of you. So, thank you guys for coming on and sharing those words of wisdom at the end, and for the jokes and the laughs and the bread and everything else during it, and for the I can't believe I'm saying this on the air, the finger docking. That was a special moment I'll always cherish. So, all right, guys. That's it. That's all we got. So, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. You can watch us next week. We actually are going to have a special guest. I don't know if I should announce it right now or not. What do you guys think?
Do it.
Do it. All right.
Yeah, so, do it, man. Do it.
Peer pressure.
Next week, we actually have Matilda from Maddie from...
That's awesome.
Be coming on. She's right now on her way to, I believe, Hamburg. Yeah, because I think I saw a picture with her and Vicky from the UK. So Maddie's going to be on the air. We'll do the official announcement on Sunday, and as always, you'll be able to submit questions in advance throughout the week, Sunday to like Tuesday or Wednesday or so. I'm going to cut them off so I can actually compile them, and we will have a special interview with Niantic's own Matilda. So there you go, guys. With that, thank you for watching. I'm fumbling around, stalling for time to find this video right here. So it's coming. It's coming. Somewhere there. Yeah. Never thought we'd do live docking on the air. Thank you for that.
It's a first for everything. Thank you.
I tell you, that'll be the last too, but just for you, man. Just for you.
Makes me so happy.